Katrina again with Do You Have a Couple Minutes? And today I want to know if you have a couple minutes to continue our series on wisdom and to talk about living a rich life. So we've made it to chapter 10 of Proverbs, and in this chapter we're given wisdom in the form of comparing situations and circumstances. It really provides us context to be discerning about what comes by utilizing wisdom and what happens when understanding is lacking. So today I've chosen 3 verses from chapter 10 of Proverbs that I think embody living a rich and fulfilling life, or this idea about living a full life. The first verse I've selected is verse 4, which reads, "He who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." Now, this verse really speaks to the importance of having an attitude to do work and then taking action to do that work in a diligent manner. And then we understand that there are benefits that come from working diligently. It reminds us that our choices and our behaviors have corresponding results, and that we have the responsibility to make good choices. And if we choose not to make good choices, then we have the outcome from those, and that is our responsibility to manage as well. The next verse I've selected is verse 15, which reads, "The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty." Now, I think this verse can be interpreted in different ways, but to me, it speaks about monetary wealth being a means for other things that benefit life. So, wealth in and of itself is not enough or is not the goal per se. It's what wealth can help us to accomplish. That is the goal. And in this case, we see that wealth was a strong city, and a strong city allows for prosperity of living and all of the benefits that come along with that. In contrast, we see that when people are in poverty, there is lack that can become harmful. Now, this isn't to say that someone should be shamed for being in poverty or can't get out of poverty if they want. It's just to acknowledge that there's difficulty in that circumstance in terms of taking care of wants and needs that might otherwise be satisfied with monetary wealth. So it's important not just to have the monetary wealth as your goal, really to look at what can be accomplished with that wealth. Now, the next verse I've selected is verse 17, which reads, "He who keeps instruction is in the way of life, but he who refuses correction goes astray." And this verse really speaks to the importance of continuous learning and to employ that learning as a way to live life more fully, to live more richly. The contrast of refusing to learn is identified as a problem that causes us to remain in a condition that's really lacking the fullness that we otherwise might experience if we were to just take on that learning and to apply it. So all of these verses speak to what seems to really matter in order for us to be fully engaged in life. Hard work gives us purpose, and it allows us a means to do other things that can provide even more prosperity and enjoyment of living for ourselves and others. The verses also reinforce the lifelong learning nature of living and wanting to learn more, wanting to gain more, to employ those things so that we can live life more fully and more prosperously. And we need to make sure that we have that perspective of hard work, of continuing to learn, and that we're consistent with the actions that support that so we can have fulfilling lives. Now, as we seek to remain engaged in our work, remain engaged in our lives, and help others to do the same, I think it's important for us all to take notice of the dichotomy that we have every day in all of the choices that we make regarding how we choose to live, and to take note of how our choices impact our long term circumstances. I think that when we do this, it will help us to lead lives that are more rich in quality, that are more fulfilling in the purposes that we have for our lives and the desires that we have for our lives. And with that, that is my few minutes for today. I hope that you found that this has been a message that's been inspiring, something to help you think, learn, grow, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling life. I hope that if you are enjoying these messages, that you'll like them and share them with others so that they can come along our learning journey as well. Please be sure to check out the show notes for a summary of today's session, as well as contact information if you'd like to be in touch with me. And there's also information on my recent publications if you'd like to check those out. As always, I'm super appreciative of you joining me here today, and I hope to see you back next time. Until then, bye bye.